Hi people, you're welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, a long while in fact, but you're welcome. Thank you for sticking with me. So today I'm going to be talking about how to apply for a PhD program in the US specifically, because there might be a few differences when you're applying to other countries. A couple of weeks ago, I'd asked people on my Instagram page to ask me questions about how to apply for PhD, what are they confused about, and I got a few questions, not a lot. I got questions around, can I get a completely fully funded PhD program without paying a dime? How do I start, I think. And then there was one question about maybe how early, I can't remember, but I'm just going to talk about the processes, and I'm sure that will help address all of those questions, right? All right, let's get started. First of all, if you're trying to apply for a PhD program in the US, the first thing you have to do is do your own research. I personally do not believe in going blindly to apply for any program at any school without doing your own personal research, just relying on other people's information, because everybody's path is not your path. You can't just simply pursue something because somebody else has done it successfully. Secondly, when you do your own research, things that you have to bear in mind: what program are you really interested in? Now, what are the prospects of being able to work with that degree after that program? Thirdly, consider amount of years you have to dedicate to that program because PhD programs in the US, most of the time you have to spend like 5 years. Some people are able to finish early. It depends on how much time you're able to dedicate to it. But that will mean that you have less breaks. For example, some people don't even go on summer breaks. They keep working and working, stay in the lab all through the year so that they're able to complete their degree in 3 years. Typically in Nigeria and most European countries, I think you're able to complete your PhD degree in 3 years. However, in America here, you typically spend 5 years. If you're gonna finish earlier, you have to put in more time, right? So consider the time you're gonna allot or dedicate to this program. You bear in mind that you have to miss out on a lot of things. For example, your family members' weddings, gatherings, reunions, things like that. Now think about how much you're willing to spend as well. Most people going for PhD program in the US, they're thinking about funding. Some people do not mind self-funding because they have the money, but most people that I've seen applying for PhD in the US, they actually need funding. So you're going to look at the school. Is this an R1 institution or R2? So when I say R1 or R2, I'm talking about, is it research-based or teaching-based? So this will help you address whether you're going to be doing a lot of more research or a lot of teaching to earn money on campus, right? Now, so think about that, and also check out the school. Is it private? Is it a government funded institution? So if it's private, you know that scholarship, fellowships, and all other opportunities like that will be very competitive and also hard to get, even if they are available. But if it's government funded, think about it that, okay, all you have to do is to be able to enter into the pool, match up based on your profile. I mean, the work you've done before now, letter of intent or essays that you write to apply to the school. All of those will help you be able to get into that pool of those people they will consider for funding, right? Think about all of those things. And I think another thing you have to consider as well is the environment. Are you able to work off campus during the summer? Are you able to do other things, depending on your degree as well? For example, if you're in STEM like me, you're able to actually work during the summer, but what kind of work you're going to be able to do, you have to make sure that work is kind of in line with the degree you're trying to earn, right? So that way the school will give you a work authorization, usually called CPT. This is a kind of authorization given to students who have not yet completed their degree, but they're doing the work that will help them further understand or better improve the quality of degree they're getting from the school. So basically, consider all of those things. Now, after you have considered all of those things, you go ahead and reach out to people in this institution. The best source of information is gotten from people that are there, and I mean people that are there like right now, as per professors, current students, asking family members. I don't know, like you can ask family members if the family member has been to that school and completed degree. Of course you can ask questions, but I've seen people just typically ask people and then they're like, and they give baseless information like, funding is better in Canada, funding is better in the UK, funding is... Do your own research, my dear brother and sister. Okay, so after you've considered all those things, you go ahead and reach out to like your professors. Be free to send emails. I know that as Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians are not used to the kind of free access that you have to professors, but remember that like they are human beings as well. Or like the last thing you hear is no, or no reply. So there's no harm in trying. Send emails, ask them questions about funding. When does application period, when does it expire or something like that? Ask about funding opportunities. Ask if they have opportunities for you to work with them in their lab or something like that. Email them. Feel free to do that, and do it ASAP. If you're going to apply for a program, for example, that will begin in let's say fall 2026, I believe that the latest you should be applying for that program should be around like October this year, right? October, November this year. That should be the latest that you begin your application process. And obviously the deadlines for different schools will be different. It won't be the same for all schools, so you have to research when their deadline is for application as well. Put in your work. Make sure that the essay you're writing, you're not using... I know that yes, ChatGPT is there and all of that, but there's a way to wisely use AI. I've seen people just do copy and paste for their letter of intent. Like, it's not personal. Like, they are trying to get to know you. That is all. So put your effort, express yourself, tell them the experiences you've gathered, why you are fit for this program, why you want to pursue this program, why you want to pursue that program in that school. Tell them these are the things they would like to know in your intention letter or intent letter or essay. They call it different things. But yeah, these are the things that they would like to know in that. So make sure that is quality as well. Have people that you respect, people that are good in that area, have them proofread it for you. Then after you've gathered your information, apply as soon as possible. And that's basically it. And so the question of if you can get 100%, I don't think there's any 100% funding. So when they say 100% funding, what they're talking about is tuition. If it is 100% like completely funded, what they're talking about is that your tuition will be paid by them. This doesn't mean that extra fees, like obviously accommodation, sometimes they provide accommodation, but if accommodation is provided, they would state that in the letter they are giving you for the award as well. Do you understand? So don't expect that 100% funding means that, I wouldn't pay a dime. No, make sure you plan ahead for your finances as well. Take care of yourself so you don't go and suffer. Especially in the winter period, it's usually bad. So make sure you prepare financially. Make sure you have some money for yourself to pay for things like laboratory fees, things like graduate student fees, things like, those small money that will go there, some $100, some $50-something, some here and there. They pile up as well. Think about how you get accommodation as well. You can ask them, does the school for accommodation and all of those extra information? I think the best department to send emails to would be the admissions department. Ask them about accommodation. Do they have on-campus accommodation? Some schools even have off-campus accommodation as well. Do they have awards for that? Can you apply for it? For example, for me, I applied for funded accommodation, and I got free accommodation for I think 2 years. Yeah, I think I got free accommodation for 2 years before I then moved off campus. Yeah. What else apart from accommodation? Think about feeding. my school, I also got feeding with the accommodation award that I got. I also got feeding for those 2 years. So I was staying off on campus, and I was eating on campus at their cafeteria. Not all schools do that. So especially when you're thinking about government schools, I don't think they typically do that. I don't think they typically do feeding and accommodation. You have to sort that by yourself, except in rare cases, maybe they have like a couple spaces or something and you're fortunate enough to get it on time. The best thing and the best bet for you, like, to get those things, in fact, I almost missed mine because I wasn't part of people that applied like very early. For whatever reason, like, God just favored me and ensured that space was created for me. In fact, somebody had to, so for my admission, somebody had to drop out of the list. Yes, I put that in prayer. I asked God specifically, I said, if somebody has to say no to the admission to this school for me to be able to enter, help me. And somebody did. You know, the same thing for the accommodation and feeding award that I got as well. Somebody was like, oh, they chose another school over the school that I had applied to and that I wanted to go. So space was created for me, basically. Things like that. So please plan your finances as well. It's not all going to be 100% funding. So when you hear 100% funding, know that it is only tuition that is being covered. So for scholarship opportunities, there are some that are based on merit. There are some that are based on like work. So campus work, like teaching or research work. For most government schools, I think you're going to be working in the laboratory with certain researchers, professors that are doing certain research. So if you're interested in that research, check their bio, go to it's very easy for you to just go to the school website, check the department that you're interested in applying to, the professors that are there. You will see under their names a couple of topics of research that they are interested in. If you're interested in it, just send them an email, ask them questions like, would I be able to work in your lab? Can I work in your team? Can I be a part of your team? This is what I've done so far. I'm interested in this because of that, because, for example, if it's physiotherapy, tell them why. Tell them like your ambitions. They want to see that, okay, these people that I'm bringing on board, they actually are interested and they have a vision, not somebody that I'm going to be forcing around to do something. Do you get? That's basically what they want to know. So I think the major thing is just courage. Don't be afraid. One thing that I learned during my own application process is that even after you have applied for scholarship and you get some and it's not enough, apply for more. last you say you hear no. So I saw that on Instagram, a lady called Zeno. I can't remember her last name, but she deals with admissions for international students and all of that, the admission processes, how to get funding and all. So I watched one of her videos. Obviously, I wasn't able to pay for a master class. I didn't have that money in the master class where she taught so many things and even helped people with their visa application processes and all of that. I couldn't do that, but I made sure that I made use of the free resources that are available on Instagram from our Instagram page. Like, she made a lot of videos educating people. I listened to that, so I learned how to search for scholarship. I learned how to navigate. You'll be surprised that some people cannot navigate the school website, like to go to the website, go to department. Some people are not able to. So these are easy things that we should be able to get acquainted with, especially if you are going for any graduate program. I think at that point you should be able to have proficiency in the use of the internet, navigating and being patient enough to just self teach yourself, teach yourself. Some things can be self-taught. And then you can go to Instagram. There are so many resources on Instagram if you are confused. I learned that you can always apply, because initially when I applied for funding, I got some funding and then I was like, I need more. And then when I saw that video where she was like, I felt so ashamed, like I'm begging them. Dear brothers and sisters, even like the way she even talked about it, it's not like you're begging. It's like I'm bringing something to the table. I'm bringing something to your school. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. I'm not just begging for funding. So that gave me that courage to apply for more funding, which I got the second time. I applied again another time, the third time, but I didn't get it that time. And the reason was because at that point it was already, I think the application period had already ended. Plus, I think they had some project they were doing on campus and stuff, like some building projects. So they're like, oh, funding has been allocated to certain things, so no more funding for students at this point, except maybe next year and all. So I was able to get started. Because for me, I am in private school. So I got funding for accommodation, feeding, and then I got a couple $1,000, which I used to pay for tuition and other things in the school. But I did not get a full-time teaching fellowship until I got to my second year. So that's how I've been able to sustain myself. So that means that apart from the funding that I got in the first year, I had to pay the rest of my tuition by myself for the first year. But since I got a teaching fellowship for my second year, so they've been paying for my tuition. So all I'm paying right now is laboratory fee, graduate student fee, and some other fees that pertain to my program. Yeah, so that's really it. I hope you guys are encouraged, and I hope I've been able to answer the questions on your hearts concerning applying for a PhD program abroad. But when it comes to visa application, that's a whole different topic, which I'm not a pro at, so I wouldn't want to dabble into that. You guys can search the internet for other people who are experts in that area. I'm not an expert when it comes to like visa application, but I hope you guys are able to learn a few things from this video and build your confidence. You're going to that school to make positive impact on them as well, right? So be confident enough to shoot your shot. Send those emails, ask those professors all the questions that are born in your hearts, okay? All right, guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.